Hello! Today is Monday the 19th of June 2023 and I'm here just doing a little bit of a vlog. I wanted to create something today. For a long time I've wanted to be a YouTuber and stuff. Creating just gives you this weird like blank canvas, and just for me it's hard because there's no direct way to go with that kind of thing. At least for me, not right now. There's not a proper workflow in terms of making the ideas, putting them on paper as like a script, shot list or whatever, then making all this stuff. It's very much like as you go, which is great at points and everything, but I yearn for structure and I feel this big sense of resistance when it's like create. And it's like, oh, what do I do? And then I procrastinate or I just might not even do it. It's weird to catch these bits of resistance. For example, I use an app called Streaks, which is fantastic, but for me it doesn't work because I make, for those of you who don't know, Streaks with the app, you pretty much say, do something like 10 push-ups a day, and then every time you hit those 10 push-ups, you check it off. And it's a great way to do that. It's very simple. It's $5. I would recommend it for most people. But for me, I see that streak and it says, gotta do those 10 push-ups, and my body, for some reason, is made in such a way where that I have to do every day and it's time to do it. Instead of making the streak and building up that chain, my brain starts to give a lot of resistance for it and I never do it, which sucks. It really does. But I've been reading 25 minutes a day every day and I'm like, don't worry about it. I just make it as part of my plan in the day and I do it at that time. I generally do it at the start of the day because I have time and I have the most willpower then. And I do it, and I've done that many days in a row now, and I love doing it. And I'm like, I gotta read today. At the very least, I gotta read 25 minutes. And if I have something busy, if I'm busy the next day doing stuff, I either accept it the day before, or I go ahead and make sure I read it. Make sure I actually read before going to that thing, as in waking up early or something. Doesn't always happen, not really anything to worry about, but it's just interesting to have that, because it took a lot of resistance for me to just do this video. I could do a vlog like this, which I chose to do. I thought I could do an Instagram, or I could edit some photos, something, you know? I've been doing good in terms of actually getting stuff done because I've started to use a calendar, plan the day, and actually work with that as well, which has helped a lot. But in the evening it gets a bit harder and harder, and if Sarah's here, it's a bit harder. It's harder when she's not here too. So it's a tough balance. But I'm sure over time, the more I do it, the easier it will, the longer I do it, the easier it will get to get into that zone or mode, as in with the reading. I've also been taking a Final Cut Pro course in color correction, an Affinity Photo course, and those have been great. And it's nice because they work really well together too. A lot of photography skills translate into video and vice versa, depending on where you learn it. So that's it. Just wanted to give you an update. Just wanted to post something and get into the minutia of creating, doing every little step. These are very easy, quick things that I can do, and it's a good starting point just to start editing and all. So short vlog. It looks like I never even hit the 5-minute mark, you know. I use my iPhone for this, and I don't even use the front-facing cameras. I use the one on the front screen just because I love seeing myself, and I can use a teleprompter and all that stuff, and to make sure the framing's right. So I'm not at that point yet where I'm using my DSLR, which I could, but it's been so finicky for me. I don't like that camera, but they're very expensive though. I might need to get something else. Oh, and by the way, I got this. This is a fidget roller, and essentially what it is it rolls like two highlighters together. Markiplier recommended it. I got it. It's expensive. It's like $40, but it's really good materials. It feels good in the hand, and it's the one thing that I can actually fidget with because it's silent and easy enough to do that I can concentrate on something else. And with editing and doing stuff on a computer, a lot of it's one-handed with a mouse, unless you're using the keyboard for shortcuts at all, which I do use, but not as much to constitute always having my hand on it. So this has been great. It's also been a nice habitual trigger, and what I mean by that is I only use this when I work, and it feels good to use. So part of me actually starting to do certain work is I might not want to do it, but I know I get to use the fidget roller, and I know that feels good and it's fun to use. So it's a bit more motivation for me to start working as well. Plus, the work I'm trying to do is I want to enjoy the work I do. I want I'm using this right now while I'm blogging. I want the phrase, like something along the lines of do what you love and you never work a day in your life. I want that. I really do. And with ADHD, it's really important that I do have that. So this work that I'm trying to do is supposed to be fun, but I still gotta get into it. And the books I've been reading have helped a lot with that. I'm reading Percy Jackson, The Mark of Athena right now. I really love the series. I just want to read it more and more. And more books after this in the series. I might read the other ones, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I try to read books between like a productive book and then a fun book. So right now I'm in my fun book with Percy Jackson. Well, this is actually the Heroes of Olympus series. But with that fun book, then after this I'm gonna finish reading Cues, which is about body language and stuff, and that's something I need to know. And with reading, I tend to actually pick up and remember a lot of it. It has to be books I'm interested in, otherwise it's a waste of time because it's hard to read, it's difficult, I don't remember anything. So it has to be books I'm interested in. I don't really make notes. I make bookmarks or highlights, but I never go back to them. And I know that, so I still do them once in a while, but if anything, I just reread the book years down the line. Or what I read and I think is interesting, I retain. I used to do this thing with my books where I would, with productivity books, I would read it, I would take a minute and look at the wall or something and just think, wow, this related to me in these 5 ways. Crazy. But then I waste so much time and I forget where I'm at. So I've started to just read it, be like, oh, that's cool, that's very interesting. And then I keep going. I also make sure I have a 25-minute Pomodoro timers on, and I try to just focus on that one thing. And that seems to help a lot, as well as the things that I remember stick more. I'm bad at reading, but I am getting better at it. But yeah, see, you would not guess that I'd be doing this during this video. I am. Maybe you hear the slight sound of like my skin rubbing against it, but other than that, that's it. And you like Malcolm? Good friend of ours, Malcolm. And then a plant and a water bottle. Anyway, that's it for me. I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.
Speak your mind, say what you're thinking. Just be you. Just be